Guten Tag and welcome to this week's lessons, which will focus on Mein Handy, which is talking about our mobile phones. And this first part is going to be talking about what we use our mobile phones for. So this is lesson 1. So the question on our first part is, Wozu benutzt du dein Handy am meisten? What do you use your phone for the most? So we've got lots of different things that we could use it for. So we're going to learn some vocabulary and see how often we use it for which feature. For this first task, I want you to just do a bit of revision on time phrases because we're going to look at how we use them in a sentence and how they affect the word order. So down the left hand side you've got your German, meistens, manchmal, oft, nie, ab und zu, jeden Tag, immer and selten. And what I want you to do is to simply match them up with the English meanings on the right hand side. So fairly straightforward. Hopefully you should remember quite a lot of these. Task 2 is to build your vocabulary, so I want you to copy the vocab you're going to see on the screen and add the English meanings, which I'll talk you through. So we're answering the question, Wozu benutzt du dein Handy am meisten? What do you use your mobile most often for? So to start your answer to that question, you would say, Ich benutze mein Handy. I use my mobile zum Telefonieren, to phone people, SMS zu verschicken, to send texts, Fotos zu machen, to take photos, E-Mails zu checken, to check emails, als MP3-Player oder Spieler kann man auch sagen, so as an MP3-Player, Spiele zu spielen, to play games, als Kalender, as a calendar, als Wecker, as an alarm clock, im Internet zu surfen, to surf the net, to go on the internet, als Taschenrechner, as a calculator, Notizen zu machen, to make notes, mit Freunden zu chatten, to chat to friends, Musik zu hören, to listen to music. Task 3, we're going to incorporate the time phrases into sentences so you can see how to use them to answer the question, Wozu benutzt du das Handy? What do you use your mobile phone for? So number 1, Ich benutze mein Handy jeden Tag, im Internet zu surfen. Number 2, ich benutze mein Handy meistens, SMS zu verschicken. Ich benutze mein Handy ab und zu als Kalender. Ich benutze mein Handy oft, Notizen zu machen. That was number 4, sorry. Number 5, ich benutze mein Handy immer, Fotos zu machen. Number 6, ich benutze mein Handy selten zum Telefonieren. 7. Ich benutze mein Handy nie als Taschenrechner. 8. Ich benutze mein Handy manchmal, Spiele zu spielen. So put them all into English using the information from the first couple of slides. Now for a little bit of grammar. Now we have seen this before in class, but it's just a little reminder about word order and inversion. And that happens if we start a sentence with a time phrase, so one of the ones like sometimes, now and again, always. If we start a sentence with one of those time phrases, the first verb and the subject swap places. So the first verb in this case will be benutze and the subject is ich. So the subject means the person who's doing the verb. The rest of the sentence stays exactly the same, so it's only those two words that switch around. So look at this example. The way we might write it normally, ich benutze mein Handy jeden Tag, mit Freunden zu chatten. But imagine we want to take out the jeden Tag, the bit in green, that's a time phrase, and put that at the start of sentence. Then what happens is your first verb and your subject are going to switch places. So it goes to benutze ich mein Handy, mit Freunden zu chatten. Now I'm talking about the first verb because in this sentence there's a second verb which is chatten. Okay, you might not always have a second verb, but just in case you do, so you know which one we're talking about. Okay, so can you make a note of this in your grammar jotter, because you're going to need to be able to do the next exercise. Okay, so task 5, these are the exact same sentences that you saw before. All I want you to do is to rewrite them, removing the time phrase, which is in green for you, putting that at the start of the sentence, and then switching round your first verb and your subject. Everything else stays exactly the same. Just realised I've got 2 number 1s in here, so just ignore that, that's just a mistake. Okay? Up until now, all of our sentences have all been focused on ich, what I do. Okay? So here you've got some translations to match, but the verbs are being given in different person. So you've got some with I, but some with one, my brother, you, my friends, just so you can see verbs used in different forms. Okay, so this is just a simple match up. Remember that when you go to do your talking, sometimes it's quite nice if you can use more than just ich and talk about other people as well, just for a bit of variety to show what you can do. Right here, I've just given you a link to Quizlet with some of the main phrases from today's lesson in it to practice. As I say every time, it's really important that you've got the vocabulary clear in your head, because it's going to really help you when it comes to listening it and reading it in the exam, so that you're not having to use your dictionary so much in reading and in listening, so that you can recognise words really quickly and get the meaning of things straight away. Okay, so please take the time to do this. Okay, just to show me what you've learnt then, I would like you to write me 3 sentences in German in reply to the question, wozu benutzt du am meisten dein Handy? Okay, it'd be nice to see some time phrases in there and a variety of activities that you do with your phone. Auf Wiedersehen!